Hi, it's Maggie the Irish Gypsy here to bring you your December 2019 mid-month general reading. So we're looking at the last half of December here, and this is for the water sign of Scorpio, our beloved Scorpions, for the last half of December. Almost done with another year. So this is for Scorpio Sun, Moon, Rising, if your Venus is in Scorpio, or if you are cross-watching. I always have a hard time saying that, cross-watching. Say that 5 times fast, cross-watching. If you are cross-watching for a Scorpio, this video is also for you. But as many of you know, because there's so many of you watching, it's a general video. It's always going to resonate a little differently for everyone. So it can provide a little extra clarity and enlightenment by watching your other videos if you know them, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Moon. Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs as well. Drink some more coffee, Maggie. So welcome everyone. Welcome to any newcomers and welcome back to followers and subscribers. Thank you for following me through all of my journeys. I just got back from a rather long one. And as you know, I work everywhere I go. So thank you for those of you who continue to follow, like, share, subscribe. Always welcome and appreciated. And if you are interested in reaching out for a personal one-on-one reading, just click on the description link below for more info, contact details. Email me directly at maggie1mcguire@gmail.com. I'd be delighted to work with you. I offer a wide variety of readings in all the main areas of life, from different types and lengths of 15 minutes up to an hour and a half. Love and romance. I do relationship compatibility readings, career, work and finance, general health and well-being, etc. And I also offer 6 and 12-month overviews, which take a look at what's coming in your life over the next 6 or 12 months, depending on how far ahead you want to look. And while you can, and people do order them at any time of the year, I always get a ton of requests for them at this time of the year as we're transitioning out of one year and into the next. So something to keep in mind also. And this is the biggest gift-giving season of the year, so you may want to consider giving the gift of a personal reading to friends, family, and loved ones for the holidays. There's nothing more personal than a personal reading. Okay, let's move right into this. Scorpio. Let's see what the last half of December is potentially holding for you. All right, Scorpio. We begin with death and ending, followed by the 8 of Pentacles, the Empress, followed by the 6 of Swords. From the bottom of the deck, overall energy, guidance, and advice for the last half of December is the Queen of Swords. You know, this is somewhat, this is kind of, there's an aspect of this I find kind of beautiful, even though it looks like there has been or is, for those of you for whom I'm reading, there's been an ending of some kind, which endings are, even under the best of circumstances, challenging. There's, you know, we have death, and which often doesn't represent physical death, and I always say, for those of you for whom it does, my condolences. But death represents, we have death in the 8 of, clarified by the 8 of Pentacles, so death represents an ending, a pretty final ending. It represents the ground being cleared out for something new. And the key to understanding and utilizing major arcana cards, meaning the energies of God, Spirit, your angels and guides, we have no control over these energies. The key to understanding and utilizing cards like Death, the Wheel of Fortune, the Tower, is to understand that even if we can't see why at the time, it's happening for a purpose, even if we can't see that purpose at the time. I know many, if not all of you, can probably resonate with, you know, having to deal with something unexpected or difficult or traumatic or painful and thinking it's the most horrible thing to deal with. But then as time and perspective goes on, you may one day look back at that and go, you know, that was a blessing in disguise because now I have this, now I'm on this path. And that's the key to kind of understanding that if something is ending, is represented by a major arcana card, it's meant to for some higher purpose. I do really like that right next to death is the Empress, which is about fertility, birth, or conception at least, new beginnings. So, and that's always the case because birth follows death, beginnings follow endings in in every ending and every death are the seeds for something new to be reborn. So that's quite beautiful. So what clarifies death, what's at the bottom of death, is the Eight of Pentacles. So this is obviously whatever's coming to an end or transforming completely, because sometimes death doesn't represent an ending in terms of a complete and total break from something or someone. It can just represent an ending in order to promote transformation. It looks like it's something you've put an awful lot of effort into. That's what the Eight of Pentacles means. It's my worker bee card, working hard, working solidly, steadily, slowly, bit by bit, detail-oriented. Pentacles is governed by the element of earth. And in the tarot, the energy of Pentacles is about the things in our life that make us feel stable, solid, safe, secure, give us a sense of continuity, whether it's, and often in the physical structure of our life. So it can represent things like money, finance, property, real estate, assets, job, etc., long-term stable relationships, marriages, jobs, etc. The things that make us feel safe, secure, rooted, or the efforts we put into acquiring those things. So the Eight of Pentacles is somebody who's worked long and hard at building up a solid, stable foundation for themselves. So there's an ending of that here. For some of you, it might be a job, a career path, a friendship, a romantic relationship. Something has come to an end. But right next to that, we have the Empress and the Six of Swords. So the Empress is all about new beginnings, fertility, self-care, and self-love. And what does fertility really represent? Well, it can represent literal fertility, like literal conception, getting pregnant. And fertility represents that the season is right, the time is right, the temperature is right, the soil is right to plant the seeds. Now, you don't see anything happen right away when you plant seeds. We cover it up with dirt and we watch it impatiently, waiting to see that first bit of green poke its head above the soil. But before that happens, we, plant the seed, and sometimes we think, oh, is anything happening? Was it dead? Was it, is it going to turn into anything? But underneath the surface where we can't see, things are germinating, furiously, and life is beginning. So on the heels of this ending, there is a season of planting seeds again, which means that from that something will grow, and if it is nurtured and cared for and sustained, it will grow into something beautiful which can sustain you a little later down the road. And what clarifies that is the Six of Swords, which is a card of healing, peace, restoration, healing, moving away from waters which, if you could see them, would be very choppy and wavy and turbulent, but you're now moving into waters which are more peaceful, placid, serene. You're not quite to the other shore and on solid ground yet, but you're moving towards that. Sometimes the Six of Swords, for those of you for whom it represents healing, and for some of you it might be physical healing, even from surgery. Healing has its up days and its down days, particularly in the initial phases of healing. You have good days, you have bad days, but gradually over time it gets better and better and better. That's what healing is about. So the Six of Swords, particularly in healing from like surgery or healing from a painful breakup, the initial days can be challenging. Good days, bad days, good times, bad times. But overall, you're definitely moving into a place of restoration, peace, and healing. And your overall energy is the Queen of Swords. So swords is air energy. That's the element which governs this suit. And in the tarot, this air energy is mental energy. It's about what goes on up in our head. Psychological, mental, cerebral, intellectual energy. It's about how we think, perspectives, perceptions, belief systems, and ideologies, because that affects the lens through which we see the world. And we label it our reality, and how we communicate our own words and ideas outwards to the world and other people in the world. Truth, higher education and learning, insight, wisdom. That's all the energy of the suit of swords. So kings and queens represent individuals who have mastered their suit, or they're at the top of their game. This is the Queen of Swords, the Queen of Air. So kings and queens represent individuals who've reached a place of mastery, self-control, and self-discipline over the character traits inherent or natural to their suit. So this is the Queen of Air. So this is somebody who's very smart, if not well educated. She has a lot of truth, insight, clarity. She has emotions like anybody else, but she does not allow them to be the thing that actually guides her or makes decisions for her. She has a long road behind her already, and it hasn't been an easy road. She's learned a lot of lessons, and a lot of those lessons have been painful. She's at a place now where she this is someone who doesn't suffer fools easily. She can spot BS coming a mile away, and she has no patience for it. She's all about what is real, what is practical, what is truth, and making decisions based on that, regardless of what emotions. She understands that emotions are wonderful, terrible, mercurial things, so she's pretty determined to make very good, balanced, wise, practical decisions using truth and wisdom and insight as her guide. And that's your overall energy and advice for the last half of December. So for those of you for whom I am reading for, my heart goes out to you for any kind of endings which look difficult, because it looks like an ending or potentially a transformation of something that you put a lot of work and effort into. But just remember that, again, in every ending there is the seeds for something new, and there's something new coming right on the heels of that, and also a lot of healing as well. So Scorpio, that is your reading for the last half of December. I hope that you found it helpful or useful in some way. If this reading resonated for you, or if any of them do, and you are interested in getting a personal reading, you can click on the description link below for more info and contact details. Feel free to email me directly at maggie1maguire@gmail.com. I would be most happy to work with you. I can usually respond to your initial inquiry within the same day or the first 24 hours. And scheduling is pretty good too. I do readings full time, 5 to 6 days a week. It's all that I do and what I love to do. So I'm pretty diligent at working with everyone's schedules to get readings out in as timely a fashion as possible. So send me an email if you're interested, and we'll go from there. I will see you all again in a couple of weeks for the January 2020 general readings for the new year. In the meantime, I wish everyone a wonderful and blessed holiday season. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, and I hope to see you back here again very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.